Why would you think that I have this very strict rule against Arabic? Hmm. Hello, hello, all our newcomers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're a bit late, but we'll let it slide. Ah, tell me. To make thinking and speaking faster. Nice. Diving is better than reading how to dive. Ooh, Amro. Nice. What I'm going to say, searching in my head because of anxiety. Nice. Worrying during speaking in English. Ooh, practice, Abdurrahman. Like, I think it was Amru that said it. Diving is the only way to get rid of it. Rahma, so we can practice English better. Yes. Not speaking in Arabic helps a lot. Very good. What is the important? Sorry, force yourself to think in English. Muhammad, you're answering your own. You're answering your own question. Nice. That's exactly it. So when you force yourself to think in English and not take the route to Arabic, right? Your brain has to find out different ways to express what you want to say in English, right? So at first, it will be hard. In the very beginning, it's going to be kind of hard. You're going to take some time, right? But after that, your mind will become super comfortable with the idea to always look for the English way, not go to the Arabic way, right? Nice. What is the important thing to improve our English reading books or speaking a lot or listening a lot? Well, Zaina, that's actually an interesting question. It depends on what skill you want to improve, right? So, language, even in Arabic, right? In Arabic, we've got the different kinds of skills in Arabic, in English, in Spanish, and all these different languages. You've got reading, you've got writing, you've got listening, and you've got speaking, okay? Now, depending on what your priority is, you have to choose the group of things you want to work on. Now, for example, I'm a doctor, for example, all right? I am an MD, I'm a physician. I've spent 7 years studying in my faculty, anatomy, all these very huge topics, scientific topics, right? And these incredible books with all this knowledge in English or in Latin. Do you think I would be bad at reading and writing? I'm not saying great, but do you think I would be bad? I don't think it's possible, right? However, I may have some difficulty speaking and listening. Why? Because I don't have much of that. I don't have this skill worked on. So if you're going to ask me which one is the most important skill, no such thing. They're all important. But if you are someone who works for customer service in the back office, replying to emails, I think reading and writing is number one. But if you're someone who works as a receptionist and you're working with people all day long, probably listening and speaking are more important, right? And these have got skills and they have got techniques that you need to use to work on. And these have different skills as well. There's so much I want to say. I want to say so much, but let's narrow it down a little bit, okay? So first things first, when I want to learn or if I want to improve my listening and my speaking, okay? Do you think watching movies and series with subtitles is going to help me do that? It's going to help me improve my listening and my speaking if I read the subtitles on movies and series? What do you guys think? Hmm. Ooh, Fairuz, I love your name. Nermeen actually hinders people back from thinking in English as per required. Very good, Nermeen. Yes, very good. Yeah, very good. Hmm. There we go. Absolutely not. No, because this is slang language. Huh. Do you think we need slang language with speaking? Do you think it's beneficial? Do you think it's bad or good? Slang, English slang, Egyptian slang? I mean, technically, Egyptian is slang. technically, if you think about it, right? Khaled hates subtitles now. Good, alhamdulillah. Nice. All right. So I think, alhamdulillah, everyone agrees here, right? That when I'm working on listening and speaking, looking at the subtitles isn't going to help me. And don't, before you tell me, but I hide the subtitles, I don't look at the subtitles, I focus on the movie. We're human, right? The minute your eye catches a couple of weird letters at the bottom of the screen, you are going to focus with them. And automatically, you're going to zone out. You're going to have your ears shut off and you're going to be focusing with what you're reading. Exactly, Yasmin. Exactly. I cannot focus in it. It's hard. You're not going to be able to focus on the movie itself. And that kills the whole purpose of the movie. The whole purpose of the movie is to provide me with an experience, a situation, if you will, where there's language that can be used in similar things, right? So that's number one. Number two. Now, this is something that I think, where I read this. Aya. Hello, Aya. 6-minute English is wonderful. It's a great way to learn language in a very controlled environment. I love it. And the conversations are usually very fruitful, not to mention they have vocabulary as well. But depending on just 6-minute English, only 6-minute English is not always the best idea. You need to have a diversity of different inputs and various inputs for your language to improve, right? There is going to be a lot of mutual things in all of the things that you're watching. So you're bound to listen to someone say hi multiple times in different ways, in different situations, in all of the things that you're watching. But only having one source is not always a great way. It's quite controlled, right? So that's with 6-minute English. Now, for the question that a lot of people ask me and it drives me crazy. Hello, Muhammad. Hello, Abdullah. Hello, hello. Welcome. You're a bit late, but it's okay. So the question that drives me crazy is, which accent is better? The British accent or the American accent? The British accent or the American accent? Khalid knows the right answer to this. Right? Let the fight begin. Let the debate begin. American, American, British, British. British is more clear. Goodness gracious. Come on. All right, someone says American is easier. There we go. The clearer accent wins. Amani, I love the goal. She's like, the clearer accent. Simple as that. The more practical accent. Let's go. British is more rich. Diro, British is richer. Well, I can't argue. Technically, it originated there, right? Personal preference. Personal preference, I think you mean salsabil. Yeah, personal preference, sure. But it also is, it also depends on what you're going to use the language in, right? Canadian Indian, Omar, come on. آية no الأمريكان ناكل في الكلمة مش واضحة. You really, are you telling me that the British do not over pronunciate their words? So when I say call, every letter is clear, Aya. Come on. Come on. Taqillah. No way. That's not possible at all. Egyptian accent wins. Yes, Safa. Yes. Love you too, Hiba. Thank you for coming. Hello. But British is more common in the field of education. Zainab, that's actually very true. You are very, very right. Especially in the Egyptian scene as well. I think we use mostly the British. Although American is making a comeback, just so we're clear, American is actually like super strong right now. A lot of different American schools. So let's answer that wonderful question before anybody asks it again. There's no such thing. All right. This is a culture and this is a different culture. All right. And I agree. I'm going to be completely honest. Americans may have maybe a little bit butchered the English language a little bit. right? So maybe they kind of overlooked the grammar a little bit. So that's why there are so many different slang terms in the American accent. But again, no, there's no such thing as one being more important than the other. Okay, it's basically got to do with what your goal is. So if you're going to be working in the UK, if your dream is to move to the UK, work there, have a life, settle down, so I think your goal would probably be for you to understand the British culture more than the American, in which case you're gonna probably want to watch series and movies that are British instead of watching Hollywood movies, because that's what you're going to be surrounded by. You want to become more familiar with this culture and make it easier for you to deal with these people. Now, the only reason why American has become super popular is because Hollywood is like really, really, really big. It's really big. And come on, let's admit it, the movies are awesome. Movies are great, right? And that's become easier as well for people who want to migrate to America. And I think mahga some help with Ahmed Omar. I think the if you're trying to travel, I think the Canadian accent as well is quite similar to the American accent. They just have a little bit of ows here and there, right? And A's. So they don't say bag, they say bag, right? So it's not British and it's not American, but it's closer to American. Just different vowel sounds sometimes. Because why not? Bottle of water. See, this is the thing. British people pronunciate their consonant sounds. So they like highlight the consonants. We know what consonants are, yes? Please tell me we know what consonants are. Consonant sounds that are all the letters that are not vowels. So vowels are A, E, I, O, U. Okay? A, E, I, O, U. Those are vowels. The British focus more on the consonant sounds. Americans focus more on the vowel sounds. That's like the biggest difference or the biggest indicator. Yes, Harry Potter. Hi, Zoom user. Do you want to let us know what your name is? Harry Potter. Yes. It is a conversation course, my dear, according to the picture we've got here. Kind of a problem, yes. So how can we know the spelling of a new word if every accent is different? I completely agree. Now, like I said before, every accent is different, and there are some differences in some letters, right? So most of the time, the words are going to be spelled the same. However, the stress is going to be different on the letters, which is why I said British people focus on the consonant sounds and Americans focus on the vowel sounds. But when it comes to pronunciation, we do have a standard. We've got some principles. A B sound is always going to be B. There will never be air with the B sound. It's not papy. It's baby. Ba. No air, right? And if it's a P, no matter what your culture is, a P has air. It's a plosive. So it's going to be pa, lots of air, right? So that is what our goal should be. Our goal should be correct pronunciation. Got it? Correct pronunciation of letters. So B and P, and F is always going to be F, right? TH, things like that. British is more elegant. I can't disagree with that, Aya. You're absolutely right. It does have a certain charm to it. Sure. Irish and Scottish accents are so weird. They're kind of scary. Thank you, Ahmed. They're kind of scary. Scottish and Irish are kind of aggressive when they're speaking. They're like that, you know? It's kind of hard. But again, if you live there for a while or if you interact with these people for a while, it becomes easier to understand them. Letter A and E is kind of tricky. Every time I miss them. Yeah, Sara, you have every right. A and E are quite challenging because of the like how your mouth is open, especially as well with like even what's even more difficult than A and E is also I and E. Hello, Dr. Khalil. I and E are a little bit difficult because they are very close. So you have the I sound, the short I sound. It's kind of sharp as a little bit, and then you've got the short E sound. It's a little bit flatter. but technically your mouth kind of opens very close. They're not too far apart. So you've got I and I and eh. Ooh, Kareem, please contact the coordinator, and Miss Mocha can also share her number on the WhatsApp group if you have further questions about the Duolingo and all these things. So you can find out more about it too. British people, they don't say the R sound. They don't say the R sounds, but they do have like the endings usually. That's where the R sounds are. Oh, Manad, it's my first time to meet you too. I'm very happy to meet you. And let's get into it since since Muhammad is excited to know more about the course, and I'm excited to tell you guys more about the course. So let's get into it, shall we? Now, with my course, the conversation course, inshallah, I focus on a couple of things. Other than the actual language itself, I do focus on the skill as well. So we're not just going to be focusing on how much language you have, but also how you use that language. And it's kind of like the practical side. Speaking itself is the most difficult skill to improve or to develop. All right? It's not like reading and writing where you can do it by yourself. It's something that you need to actually have someone with you in order to not measure, but to build the skill of actual communication. And this is the part we're going to be including in the conversation course. We have the communication aspect and the language aspect. And so it's not easy or it's not good if I have a lot of language, but I can't really communicate it, or I'm not able to understand what the person is saying, or I'm not able to turn my thoughts into words, and so on and so forth. Right? Now, when you hear conversation course or when you hear a speaking course, what are your thoughts? What exactly comes to mind when it comes to, all right, so she's talking about a conversation course, it's a speaking course. What do you think is going to happen? Let's see. To become fluent, nice. You will talk, very good. Nice. My only expectation is that I'll talk, very good. Understand and speak more. Mahmoud, I can see you, no worries. Will I have good vocabulary, but my pronunciation is trash? This course will help me. Islam, why do you think your pronunciation is trash? Let's see. Let's have you guys contact me so that Mahmoud can focus. There we go. To be fluent, nice. Free education. Islam, free education. Oh, come on. Don't be harsh. Although technically you're kind of right. All right, nice. To speak with confidence. I love that, Gamal. Yes. More tips, Radwa, more tips to be more fluent and have a better accent. Very good. Nice. And remember how we mentioned earlier that it's not about the accent, it's about the pronunciation. You have to make sure that you have clear and good pronunciation. This is what our goal is going to be. For us to be able to communicate clearly and without a lot of mistakes, this is how we do it. I wish to speak English quickly. I don't think speed should be our goal, right? However, if you want to feel more comfortable, if you want to have a better flow, if you want to feel more flexible with English, this is understandable. This is, of course, something that you can work on and we can work on together, which is something we will do as well. Improve pronunciation. Nice. Ooh, CH and SH sounds. We're going to talk a little bit about pronunciation in the course, inshallah. Communicate with foreign work colleagues. Very good. So communicating with colleagues and with natives or other language speakers, because English is the most globally spoken language all over the world, it technically is really important for you to be able to communicate it. And when it comes to the Indian accent and the Canadian accent and accents in general, this is why I don't say that accents should be your goal or should be your objective. Your objective should be to speak correctly. Your objective should be to make sure that all of my vowel sounds, because this is the biggest problem, by the way, the hardest thing to work on are the vowel sounds, especially the short vowel sounds. So your goal should be that I am able to produce these vowel sounds correctly and accurately in a conversation and with the words that I have, no matter what, right? This should be your goal. Not what accent I can adopt, because it is an international language, which means that I am able to speak with various different cultures and different races, okay? So believe it or not, Indian English has actually been approved. There is a thing called Indian English now. Congratulations, right? So you need to be able to deal with these people regardless of their accent. And to do that, you got to make sure that you know how to pronounce the words or the letters correctly. That is our goal. And very good, Iman. Yes, exactly. It is very good. And it's okay to have accents. There you go. Hussam just mentioned that the Prime Minister of the UK is Indian or of Indian descent. Although I think he is born and raised in the UK. I'm not sure. Do you know what does fluency mean? All right. So someone here asked me that their fluency is 0. All right. I need you guys to tell me, what is fluency? What does that mean? Can you guys hear me clearly? Talking without hesitation. Nice. That's a form of being fluent. Very good. Speak smoothly. Speak like a native, Abdul Hamid. That's very general, but okay. Without pauses. To be able to gather your vocabulary when needed. Hamid, that's a very, very good point. Kind of hit the nail on the head, huh? To talk without struggling. Speaking without stopping. Nice. All right. So to be fluent is a mix of all of those things. It's to be accurate. It's to speak with a good flow at a good speed, with comfort and ease, right? Confident. There we go. You got to be confident without lagging. Lagging is for computers, but sure. Without hesitating, without getting stuck on something, right? So if you're able to convey a message, even if it's slowly, you're on the right track. Okay, Diro? So it's not that I can speak quickly or I can speak fast. That's not fluency. Just so we're clear. Are there any recommended? What? Perfection? I agree. Perfection. Sometimes people being a perfectionist can stop them from actually proceeding or continuing or growing in the language. They're so worried about making a mistake that they don't end up speaking, or they speak very, very slowly, or they speak very roughly as well. Speaking clearly. Nice. Abdullah, it's not just you, I promise. It's everyone. Everyone who's learning a language that is new to them, they all go through this. This is completely normal. You're worried about making a mistake. You're worried about pronouncing the wrong word or saying something wrong or saying a wrong letter or being judged or feeling like someone is judging you or taking or holding it against you because you're Arab or because of whatever reason. This is completely normal. And it happens with every second language learner. English as a second language learner. It's more to accuracy. All right, Zainab, yes. What's your point, my dear? All right. Bassem is asking, how can I speak with intonation and the right stress without studying rules or books? Now, Bassem, it depends. What do you mean I'm listening a lot, but I still can't acquire it? Intonation and stress comes with culture. So you got to be able to understand the situation or the significance of the situation, the emotional capacity of the situation, and accordingly, you can say it out loud, right? Or you say it similarly. At first, you might need a little bit of help where you can shadow someone or shadow a series or a movie or something like that. And you start speaking and copying their exact intonation until you get the hang of it and you're able to apply it yourself. After that, in similar situations, you can copy it or you can recall it if you have acquired it from different scenarios. Now, I think there are 2 questions I'm going to ask. Number 1, you said you're listening a lot. How are you listening? So We mentioned earlier, I believe you weren't here yet, but we mentioned earlier that if there are subtitles in the scene, your ears are not working by default. So you need to remove subtitles out of the equation. That's number one, even if it's English subtitles. Subtitles cannot exist when you are watching if you are working on your listening. That's number one. Number two, what are you watching or what are you listening to? Right? According to that, we know exactly how much culture is available in this input. Okay? Now, according to that, the sitcom, romantic, action, depending on what these situations are that are in the series, you can start picking up from them. But if you're watching a bunch of guys punch each other in the face or like kill each other with guns and there's no actual dialogue, there's nothing for you to acquire, right? So you have to make sure that that's a thing. Amen. Ignoring their existence is only going to get you so far, my dear. You need to remove them from the equation. Yes, Rihem, it's a recorded session, my dear. Hello, Abu Abdulaziz. All right. Now, these are intermediate topics. However, the course that I give with the conversation course, we've got 3 different levels. The levels that we have are intermediate, upper intermediate, and advanced. Those are the 3 things that we have. Okay? Thank you very much. The 3 levels are, well, the first 2 mostly cover the intermediate level, but which is like intermediate and upper intermediate. Technically, pre-intermediate as well is somewhere on the threshold, like around intermediate, which is the B1 level. Okay? But I've divided them onto these things. Nice to meet you, Dihab. But we've divided these things into 3 different levels or 3 different conversation courses so that it's easier and it gives people more space for growth, because I know everyone has a lot of things to take care of in their daily lives. So we've divided it so that there is kind of like a structured baby step plan for people to follow to make sure that their language is improving, right? Sorry about that, Ahmed. You are B1 indeed, and let me know if you guys need me to repeat anything, okay? Now, with our course, we've got 2 days a week. Our course is 2 days a week. Every session is 4 hours. And aside the 2 sessions that you attend with me, where it's mostly focused on production, I like to prioritize speaking during my sessions. So you will join us and then you will be speaking most of the time. There will be topics, or there will be conversations, there will be interactions. Remember how I mentioned before that other than the language part, there's also the skill part, the communication part. The skill part means that you need to learn how to deal with different backgrounds, different levels, different personalities, different mindsets. All of these are there to help you produce your language better. Okay? So, because of this, our course will include a couple of different things where you will be doing activities or exercises in pairs or in groups, or with me in an open discussion. The best way to develop a fluency or a fluent habit in speaking is by having open discussions, and it usually really takes things a lot better. This is right conversation. Translate words. What? Sorry. Yahya, can you explain this? This is right for conversation. Translate words and sentences with right grammar in your mind for Arabic to English, or what? I don't understand the questions, Yahya. Can you please clarify that? So back to what I was saying. So my course is 2 days a week, inshallah. Okay? The times are different. Miss Omneya will also be taking, will be writing down her number in the chat. Please go ahead and take that as a copy so that you can contact her if you have any questions or details, or to ask for details about the course. Like I said before, it's 2 days a week. Each session is 2 hours. We have 2 other things also in the course. We have something called daily voice notes and examophones. It is 5 weeks and a month and a week, right? It is 5 weeks long. 2 sessions a week. Each session is 2 hours. And we have daily voice notes and weekly examophones and weekly voice notes as well. So other than myself following up with you guys and giving you assignments and things to do, There will also be other instructors that will be following up with your language process, language journey, sorry, and giving you feedback. Now, I've got a couple of things I wanted to talk to you guys about before we get into other things. A lot of people ask me about what can they do to improve their language and their confidence. And this applies not only to speaking, but also to reading and writing. What those are my 3 C's. Those 3 C's include context. Okay. The meaning of the word context can be very vague to some people. And yes, Shayma, of course. Miss Muhaga, can you please send your number as well? So the first part of, or the first piece of advice that I have for you guys in terms of improving your language skills would be context. Usually because we feel very anxious with our language, we're very worried that maybe I don't understand, maybe I am not being clear, maybe something is missing. A lot of people try to focus on the actual words that are being said. So they don't listen to the situation as a whole, or they don't focus with the situation as a whole, but they focus instead on trying to catch random words in the middle of a scene or a situation or things like that. Okay? These things, all right, help you with getting words, but these words will not last. These words will not be with you forever. So the best thing that you can do is to focus on the general picture or the general idea or the whole scene. That will help you understand the little words that you are worrying about. Okay? So, again, for example, when I'm watching a movie, I cannot try to catch the words. I will try to do this automatically when I feel worried or when I feel scared, but that's not going to help. What you should do is focus on the general idea, because that will help you understand the words that were used. Okay? So, context. Don't try to catch specific things. Look at the surrounding pieces of information as well. Okay? Next, comprehension. The general understanding, not the details. It's okay for you to understand the general idea of what is happening and not the exact details yet. At the very beginning of your language journey, there is no way you will be able to catch everything 100%. There's no way. So don't stress yourself out about this and give yourself a chance to understand the general idea. If I understand the general idea, with time, you will notice that you're going to be improving faster, because this is about language, not about an IELTS test where you need to focus on the details and provide detailed answers. Okay? Confidence. Now, remember how I think it was Amru, I think? Not Amru, Amura, I think. His name was Amura. He mentioned that diving is better than reading about diving. It's the same thing. So I know it's not easy to say, like, just be confident and do it anyway. Don't worry. It's very easy to say this, but I know that applying it is kind of challenging. However, if you don't apply it, you're not going to go anywhere. You will remain in the same spot forever. So you need to push yourself past that point of fear if you want to see results. If you stay in your comfort zone forever, you're not going to grow. If you still let the thoughts about feeling judged affect your mind, you are not going to be able to get past it. You will always be in that point. So you have to be careful. You actually gotta do it. There's no way around it. All right. I've got a couple of rules in my classroom that I like to follow. These are some of them, but inshallah, when you join me, I'll be able to explain them further so that you guys can have a better understanding of what it is we do in the course. I remember Zainab asked me if this is a phonetics course or if it's a speaking course. It is indeed a speaking course. And as much as I try to provide some helping tips and advice to allow you to build all of the different weak spots that you have in your language. So some people have very Arabic pronunciation, right? And they're worried that they might be judged or this might affect their conversation skills. So one of the things we work on are pronunciation so that you're able to build something better or to practice this skill. Because unfortunately, with pronunciation, it's not something that can just be taught and then that's the end of it. It's something that needs to be practiced. So you actually have to say the words multiple times and you have to hear yourself saying the words multiple times in order for you to see progress. If you don't actually say them, if you only read about how to say them, but you don't say them, you're not going to improve. And so this is one of the things that I apply at the very beginning of my course, which are some tips that you need to start applying from the beginning so that you can use the whole duration of the course to apply these tips. And when you do so, you're able to see some differences towards the end. Now, one of these tips are, number one, repetition. When you are repeating, you are building something called muscle memory. It's kind of like when you go to the gym and you start building out up a muscle. It's the same situation, the same case. The more you repeat and the stronger your muscles become with saying these sounds, the easier it will be for you to continue to say them. Number two, remember how I said that vowel sounds are usually the trickiest, especially with the short vowel sounds? This is what I mean. Some people, when they're learning a new language or when they're trying to apply or speak a new language, they get really shy and their mouth isn't completely open. This affects the sounds and how they're produced. So, opening your mouth is actually a tip. If you open your mouth and you say the words as accurately as possible, the way I'm animating my mouth, this will help you produce better sounds. Remember how I said the muscle memory part? With the more you speak and the more repetitive you are, you're able to actually say and produce a lot of things. Same thing. Some people ask me about music. Can music help my English? How can music help my English? Music is good for pronunciation. Because remember how I said you need to repeat a lot? This is how. When I repeat with music, it helps me not feel bored. And also it breaks down the words. So sometimes it stretches out the words and makes it easier for me to say them. Now, to address Iman's concern with the whole slang idea, yes, most of it is slang, but there are different songs, right? Some songs are slang. Some songs have very interesting vocabulary. Some songs are fast, so it can help you with your enunciation and your transition between words. Some songs are slow, so it depends more on music, and maybe it'll give you a little bit more time to produce the entire word in its entirety, right? So there are different kinds of songs with different vocabulary, but my goal when I go to songs should not be vocabulary. My goal should be pronunciation. My goal should be repetition. Okay? And let's see. I've got a couple of sounds that I usually talk about in the sessions as well that are very common. And these are the sounds that people know about, and they kind of pinpoint or they kind of spot Arabs specifically with these sounds as well. Or I'm just gonna say it, Egyptians, right? With the TH sound, right? You got to make sure your tongue is out. Yes, Noura, there is a course, and if you take a look up there, our wonderful coordinator has sent the number on the chat. So the TH sound, you got to make sure that your tongue is out. I don't care how silly you feel. I don't care how weird it seems at the beginning. But when you have the TH sound, your tongue has to be out. All right? It can never be produced correctly if my teeth are closed. So it's always going to be thank you, think, through, right? Then there's a stronger one. We've got the, that, those. Now, what happens if I close my teeth and I don't put my tongue out? It's the Z sound right here. Now, someone earlier asked me about the difference between the SH sound and the CH sound. And you're absolutely right. With Arabs, usually they do make this mistake a lot. And you just need to remember that there's a T at the beginning of ch. Why is it important? Because one difference in this sound can make the word completely different. So saying that I went on a ship is different from saying that I went on a chip. Yeah? Or I ate a chip. You can't say I ate a ship. Make sense? Thank you. Yes, exactly. So that's why pronunciation is important. And believe it or not, yes, I'm going to repeat myself again. British and American both think that CH and SH are pronounced in the same way. SH and CH. All right. Remember how I said the B and P and things like that? Same thing as well. So this is an insight about what my course is, inshallah, and what I try to focus on. Now, to get back to, because we are running out of time, to get back to you guys about what exactly is to be expected of my course and what you will see, inshallah. Number one, we have, because I think there are a lot of newcomers, so we've got 5 weeks together, okay, to practice speaking and conversation. My goal is for you to produce your language, okay? This is my goal. My goal is for you to be able to speak and use your language wisely, okay? That's number one. Number two is I'd like you guys to try to think and try to speak as much as possible, but in English. So again, let's go over this course. It's a 5-week course, 2 sessions a week. We are working on trying to develop it. I'll let you know if we have any changes soon. 2 sessions a week. Each session is 2 hours. The coordinator is sending her number on the WhatsApp chat. Her WhatsApp on the Zoom chat. Please go ahead and do that. And what happens is that we've got daily tasks, we have weekly evaluations, and weekly voice notes. Timing of classes can be also followed up with the coordinator. So if you guys have any further questions other than what exactly we do, just go ahead and text Miss Mohga. She is our wonderful coordinator, and she will be in charge of explaining exactly the times and the dates and things like that, and the money as well. Now, what happens is you are going to text Miss Mohga. She is going to send you some questions that I'd like you to answer in a voice note. This voice note will allow me to assess your speaking skill. I will understand exactly where you are with your English and how you think and your Arabic and so on and so forth. After that, I will, or not me, Miss Mohga will be sending you guys the results to be able to see what levels you can go to. Okay? And no. Course before or after advanced one. What do you mean, Raghda? Before or after taking the advanced? Oh, you mean advanced grammar and vocabulary. Advanced grammar and vocabulary. It depends on what your level is. So if you're intermediate, sure, then after. If you are advanced, if you're like upper intermediate, if you're like a B2, then before is perfectly fine. This is right for conversation. Yahya, finally. Translate word sensitive with the right grammar in your mind from Arabic to English or what? Yahya, where's the question? Are you asking if it's right to translate from Arabic to English? No, it's wrong. 100% wrong. Why? Because when I'm thinking in Arabic and I translate, the structure of the sentence is destroyed. And I may use the wrong prepositions, I may use the wrong words. So no. Counting on Arabic to be translated to English in a conversation will take more time, okay? And it will cause more mistakes, and it will make you feel very uncomfortable with everything. Do I recommend it before taking IELTS preparation course with Dr. Muhammad? Yes, I do, because it's going to make you feel more confident with your language. If you already have that confidence, then you're fine. However, taking the IELTS course with Dr. Muhammad is very, very demanding. So you have to make sure that you are going to be in it 100%. And he, as he should be, he's very, very keen on his students' progress. I got pre-intermediate with Miss Mona. You advise the conversation to be able to speak? Sure, yes. Send Miss Mohga a message and then we can evaluate and see where you are, Hiba. Does it help to make the movie? No, Raghda. No. No. Making the movie slower or making the video slower is not going to help your language. You're going to need to follow this pace forever if you slow down the language. So if you only focus on something slow, when it comes to real life, you will not be able to handle or cope with the normal speed that the conversation is at. What you should do is try to adapt or try to follow or try to work on or watch the movie or the video with its normal speed and increase the amount of movies that you're watching so that you can actually get accustomed to, you can become familiar with, you can get used to it, right? If you don't, you're not going to be able to converse. Make sense? And by the way, this happens a lot with language in general. There's this scared point. There's this anxiety point where they're like, oof, bifakkar bisini, right? After you get past this point, your language will grow. Before that, you're going to stay in this bubble forever. So you cannot bring the language back. You need to go up to the language. Are we going to participate in this session and in the sessions? Yes, of course, Dua. We've already mentioned that since I have just joined. It's okay, Dua. Welcome. Better late than never. We are actually just concluding and finishing up, but I'm very happy for your question. Yes, the conversation course is mostly about production. I will be giving you assignments to help you increase your input, and the sessions are there for me to help you express yourself, build confidence, speak in English, think in English, and correct your mistakes. Does this course prepare us for speaking for IELTS? You can have, or one of the parts that we have with the tasks with the coordinators is that they provide you feedback if you want with the speaking band. Joe, you're late. We're leaving. Hello, Amira. Improving language starts with listening. Yes, you are absolutely right. Listening is the first step. And I believe Dr. Muhammad says this all the time, and it's absolutely correct. The more you listen, the better your language will be. The more input you have, the better the output that you have. And as we mentioned before, the different kinds of input, the different kinds of skills that we have require different kinds of input. So don't read and expect your speaking to be great. That's not how it works. Listen, your speaking will be better. Read, your writing will be better. But you have to have input. Mahmoud, are there any recommended websites for British accents to follow? British accent? Yeah, movies and series. I'm assuming that by the British accent, you're looking for culture because you want to be able to converse and communicate in this culture. So yes, movies and series, definitely. Simple vocabulary at first. Raghda, what do you mean, my dear? Hiba, I already placed my test a month ago, but I couldn't join you in previous course. Should I repeat it again? No, Hiba, I have your assessment. However, if you would like to send it again, I think that's perfectly fine. So contact Miss Mohga again, but I think I've already added your name, Hiba, because I thought you were my Hiba at first. So I've already added you to the sheet, although I am excited to meet you though. Finally. Better late than never. All right, my dear. Watching video with translation in English helped improve. It helps improve your vocabulary and your grammar, Ahmed. So if you watch a movie or if you watch a series with English subtitles, that's how that'll improve your vocabulary and your sentences, but not your speaking. The course will start, inshallah, towards the end of this month. You want to talk to someone? I completely agree. You should. Miss Mohaga can send the messages again. There's a video I can understand easily. Yes, of course. There are many things that you can watch that'll be easy for you. But the biggest advice I can give you, Raghda, is that start now. Choose a series or a movie that you like the genre of. So, for example, what genre you are interested in, like romantic, like crime, like action. And then accordingly, you can start watching it. And because you like the events or you're interested in the events, this will help you. You get what I mean? And this is a lot better than watching very, very short videos. But again, Raghda, it depends on your level, my dear. So contact Miss Muhga, and accordingly, we will know what level you are. And if you are still a beginner, although, hey, if you understand me right now, you are definitely not a beginner. That means your English is very good. But if you are a beginner, I will recommend some videos for you to watch. That'll be a lot easier. I got a placement test and I got upper intermediate. Will I have to start advanced or update upper intermediate? So basically, Mustafa, I measured the speaking skill, not just the language as a whole or the general level. I focus mostly on the speaking skill itself. So depending on how you answer the questions I send or the detailed answers you provide and your accent and your translations, accordingly, I'll be able to give you an assessment. All right, Raghda, if you understood me well, my dear, there is no way you are a beginner. There is no way. A recommendation for movie or series? Choose what you like. Start with something that you are interested in, because the language is not going to be a factor. It will not help at first. You need something that will keep you motivated. So choose a genre that you like and then build the language upon it. You can understand me well, but you can't talk the same way. That's normal. That's normal. It takes time. Yasmin, it was a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much. And Mahmoud recommending friends. Yes. All right, dears. That is the end of our orientation. Thank you so much for spending this time with me and for coming. It was a pleasure to meet you guys, and I look forward to seeing you guys, inshallah, in the course if you guys are looking forward to it. Exactly. So knowing the tips and advice is not the same as applying them, which is why the conversation course exists, because speaking is different from learning about speaking. So inshallah, I look forward to meeting you guys soon, inshallah, and have a blessed Friday and incredible things, and see you all soon, inshallah. Bye, everybody. Yes, my dear, it's recorded, so ask Mocha for the recording. Bye.